I don't know about you guys, but personally, I think the MCU's Phase 4 has been off to a rough start. Not saying some of the movies and shows haven't been good. Loki Season 1 was great and Spider-Man No Way Home was a blast. But everything else was either slightly above average, mediocre, or terrible. And that's exactly what happens when you prefer quantity over quality. I don't think I'm the only one saying this. Maybe I am, I sure hope not. But at this point, we've had 27 MCU movies, and that's about to be 30 by next November. We've had 4 MCU shows, and that'll probably triple in 2 years. Plus, we'll be getting multiple seasons for some of these shows as well. Listen, I get it. Disney and Marvel love making money. They are capitalizing on something extraordinary, and I don't blame them. However, it doesn't mean they're doing it right. In fact, I'd argue that Phase 4, despite having by far the most content for an MCU phase in 1 year, is out to the worst start of the 4 phases. Like, I would take Iron Man and Incredible Hulk, Captain America Civil War, and Doctor Strange, and heck, even Iron Man 3 and Thor the Dark World, over having to endure Black Widow, WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, What If, and Hawkeye all in the span of a year. That being said, with all of this content and no end in sight, I'm still wondering, why does the MCU still recognize Phase 4? Just do what DC has been doing for 9 years and delete the phase gimmick. Marvel has been treating each phase like the end of a new TV season, only Phase 4 has way more going on compared to the other phases. That wouldn't work for a TV show, so why would it work for the MCU? Sure, I know it's been a year since the phase kicked off with WandaVision, but usually there was a format to these phases. You get a few movies every year over the course of 2 to 4 years, and the climax is an Avengers movie. But now, the MCU is not only doing a few movies per year, this year was 4, the most MCU movie releases of any year, but they're also adding in several TV shows. So if I were to guess, we'll be getting 7 to 10 new MCU titles per year now, and I'm sure that'll continue to grow. I mean, 9 was way too much in 2021, I can't imagine if in 10 years it's 20 or more. And part of me feels like by that time, they'll still be making Phase 4 movies and shows because they have no idea how to move from phase to phase at this point. We all knew the Avengers movies would end the arcs of each phase, but funny enough, Avengers 5 hasn't even been announced. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't get announced for several more years. In the meantime though, here's more mindless movies and shows for everyone. With so much content compared to the other phases, Phase 4 right now feels like 6 phases in one. Not to mention how directionless Phase 4 is at the moment. I get it, the multiverse is the theme of this phase, whereas Thanos was the main arc of the first 3 phases. But where is all of this going? It's starting to lose all sense of reality, even in some of the semi-realistic MCU entries. I can't imagine someone like Yelena Belova or Kate Bishop even standing a chance in the multiverse. But I guess Black Widow foreshadowed what was to come after how ridiculous that movie was. For a second, I thought I was seeing Natasha Romanoff in a Fast and Furious movie. Christ, it made those movies look realistic. The main point I'm trying to make is that Phase 4 is a total mess so far. Phases 1 through 3, despite still having a lot of movies, at least kept it organized. And every character was placed in a scenario where I could suspend my disbelief just enough to where I could see them surviving through it all. Phase 4, on the other hand, is like a game of pinball. It's clear they're in it for the money and don't really have a clue where to go next. Kind of like another Disney product from the last couple of years, if you know what I mean. People eat this up on the regular, and that's why Marvel can keep making as much content as they want. But if you like actual good content, you should pour your money into movies and shows that deserve it, not the same old garbage we saw all of last year. And again, I don't blame them. Any production company would do the same exact thing. Actually, it's quite impressive most of the content is watchable considering how difficult these movies and shows are to make in the first place. But imagine how much better the MCU's Phase 4 content would be if they weren't trying to shove 50 products down our throats all at once. If it were up to me, I would trim the fat, keep it to 2 to 3 movies a year and 2 to 3 shows. Then I'd plan out what the endgame should be of Phase 4. We seriously do not need this much content in one phase, especially when most of it is average if not worse. Does anyone else watching this video video truly believe there's a concrete end in sight for Phase 4 at Marvel right now? The only way I'll believe it is if you show me the proof first. At this rate, Phase 4 will still be going on until I have kids watching Marvel. And I'm only 24 years old, so it's going to be a very long time till that day comes. So for God's sake, just keep making movies without using the phase gimmick. Because if you don't follow the same organized format of the first 3 phases, eventually people will lose interest. Or hopefully they will, otherwise I have no more words. Too much content is never a good thing. That's why people became anti-Star Wars for a while. And now with only 1 show per year over the last 2 years, people are excited once again about Star Wars. DC has even taken its time with making movies in recent years, and their last several projects have been highly acclaimed by critics and fans. Plus, Peacemaker is their first show and people are loving it. Phase 4 would be amazing if just Loki and Spider-Man No Way Home existed. Not only are those great products, but it would make Phase 4 more organized and give it a sense of direction. The multiverse would be the only conflict to worry about. Again, if you're gonna continue pumping out all this content, just do away with the phases. There's no need to recognize them anymore unless there's a game plan. But trust me, Marvel is more concerned about making money at the moment with tons of movies and shows and less concerned about logic. So how do you guys feel about Phase 4? Do you think there's any point in keeping the phase gimmick? Or do you think they should do away with having any phases? Let me know down below in the comments section. And of course guys, as always, if you are new to my channel, click that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you all have a fantastic day.